Ni hao, wish is Stephanie. You guys are going to think that I live in blankets. What happened is this is a weird angle. Hold on a second. You're going on a yoga block. Okay, so winter the temperatures just went down a few weeks ago, and we're still adjusting to how to keep the concrete apartment warm. And the overhead heaters really dry everything out, including our noses, our eyes, and everything. And I think it's part of why we got sick last week. And so now we're using the wall heaters, which just kind of like hint at heating. But if you leave them on long enough, they work. And so that's why in a lot of these videos, I'm now wearing little blankets, because those don't heat up as well, but they're less damaging. So if you see me over the next few months wearing different forms of animal print things, it's not my clothing. It's just blankets in the house, just to keep warm. And they totally clash with my animal-y kind of thing. But I'm at home. So who cares? Who cares? Anyway, I wanted to share probably one of my first grammar, not even questions, because I don't even want answers to this. I just want to record my first grammar head meets wall moment and appreciation for Chinese speakers who speak English, which is a huge part of what this sentence really brings home for me. As I mentioned before, I taught a lot of English language learners in Asia and in the U.S. In the U.S. was more of teaching writing than teaching language, but inevitably there's language in writing, so that was still involved. You can still see the pink in my nose, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's part of the cold, not part of the blanket experience. Anyway, so this is a word order issue, and oh my God, I wasn't even really in the right chapter last night. I spent about an hour and a half on my current chapter in the reading book. And then I went back and just out of curiosity, because I started looking at the English translation in the back of the book, which I tended not to do. And I think that's a bad idea, because I think it does help me kind of solidify the chunks of language. And I was really focused on the individual words, and that's probably why I lost motivation. One of the million reasons. There's never one reason. Anyway, so I went back to the previous unit. Is that where I did it? Hold on one second. It was the birthday one. Oh my gosh. No, it was chapter 1. It was the birthday and the dates and the months, which I still haven't completely memorized. But again, I'm not looking for complete absorption of the book. I'm looking for familiarity. So when I see stuff again and again and again, the repetition will cement things into my long-term memory. That's the logic now. It's not working great yet, but it's what I have. So anyway, in chapter 1, with my really bad tonnage, here is the Chinese part of the sentence, not the full sentence. If you hear that weird sound, that's my yoga ball that I'm sitting on, scraping up against the desk. It's not me doing anything weird, flatulence-wise. Okay. 我女朋友属于I know this one. 967年5月28号 出生的. Okay, that's the only part of the sentence. That sounded awful. You know what? Yeah. Anyway, that's the only part of the sentence I want to talk about. The second part of the sentence is not what I was focusing on last night. So what that says in English, which I can say with understandable pronunciation, is my girlfriend was born in 1967 on May 28th. I think that's where it stopped. It did. Okay, so that's it. My girlfriend was born in 1967 on May 28th. Now, you're not going to hear just from the Chinese to the English, especially with my tonnage, the difference in the word order there. So let me go back to the Chinese and translate word for word into English. Remember, in English, the meaning is my girlfriend was born in 1967 on May 28th. Here is the exact translation from Chinese. I girlfriend is 1 9, 6, 7, year. 5 month, 20, 28 day, be born of. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? So we've got I girlfriend is. So we've got is at the beginning of the sentence, and I'm totally verbing out on this. And at the end of it's not even a sentence, it's a phrase, because it looks like there's a comma, not a period after that. And let me go ahead, for those of you that can read Simplified. Here, Simplified's on top, Traditional's on the bottom, and Opinion's in the middle. So I'm only reading to here. I don't know if you can see that, for those of you that can read it. And I tend to underline words to help me with my spacing issue, because I'm still having problems identifying words, as I will for a few thousand characters, I imagine. So anyway, that's what those lines are. So seriously, there's 2 verbs. There's 2. And the word order is completely off. You don't know he's talking about born until he gets to the end of the phrase, not sentence, but phrase, because he says, I girlfriend is, and then the year. But is, like sh is, but I thought that was like a person thing, but then he gives a year. But I guess the is works with the born, but you don't know it till you get to the end of the born. But then I guess from context, once you start saying a year, I guess, would you know, let me just ask the ether, would you know that since the year's coming, that you're going to get to the born verb at the end? I don't know. I think that's really interesting. I don't get as frustrated with grammar as I do with vocabulary, so I just think this is amazing. And I think if this is common, and not just in this one phrase where you're talking about somebody's birthday and when they were born, if this is common where there's multiple verbs and they're split up that far apart from each other, because I know phrasal verbs in English, some, and I forget the exact linguistic phrase, but some can be have to be right next to each other. They're kind of glued together, and some can be apart from each other. I get that. But is this a phrasal verb? Are there phrasal verbs in Chinese? See, there's all these grammatical things coming up. And I don't truly care about the answer. I care about seeing things in repetition, and I will learn them as I see them more frequently. That's my approach, and it will take me 5 years to learn the most basic of Chinese, as you can obviously see, but that's the method I want to go with. But I think it's really interesting that the sh and the chusheng are super far apart from each other. Is born. Maybe it is a phrasal verb. I didn't even think of that last night. I just thought it was interesting that the main meaning verb is at the end of the phrase. So you have to wait. I've been thinking about this a lot recently with question words, and I still haven't solidified. So that's the end of the book thing, because I just realized this does feed into the word order thing that I've been thinking a lot about with my previous students from years and years ago. With word orders, whenever I'd ask a question, a lot of times they'd hone in on the keyword and not the question word, and you need both. Because if I say, where did you go yesterday? They'd say yesterday. Yes, that's not a good example at all. Where are you from? No, that's a really easy one. Let me think. I'm trying to think of one that's not a giveaway just from the keyword, where the keyword won't necessarily tell you what the question is. And now I'm failing. What did you eat last week? What did you eat on your last birthday? And they'd say, okay, that might work. What did you eat on your last birthday? They'd hone in on last birthday and start talking about like a party celebration. But that's not the question, is what did you eat? What? So, and that's not the best example of this. But from what I see so far, which is not a lot, the question component, is that safe to call it that, is at the end of the sentence. So you don't really know if somebody's saying, I am a doctor, or I am a doctor. That's another bad example. But the question, it's an inquisitive thing, not a statement at the end of this phrase or sentence, as opposed to in English where the question word's at the beginning. A lot of time, not always, we do have tag questions, but the question word's at the beginning. So again, the word order it's different enough to be confusing. And this is where my utter and complete respect for fluent, not 100% accurate, because who the hell is 100% accurate, but fluent speakers, Chinese native speakers who are fluent in English, how do you get around this word order? That's so incredibly different. And are there, okay, I learned nar, which I think I'm saying wrong, in the latest lesson of the book. So there is a where question word. I'm assuming there's a what. There is. Shema. Shema is what. So there are question words. I haven't seen them so much in sentences yet, and especially in questions. The nar I'm looking at now, I said that's so wrong, is used to describe, not so much as a question. So I still haven't seen it in a question form yet. Although now Li, which I hear all the time when I get into a taxi, I have a feeling is actually this nar, but with the RL confusion. I'm so veering off of my point. What is my point? My point is word order seems different enough. And again, I'm not sure if this sentence is a specific construction that's different than other ones, or if this is indicative of how sentences are formed in Chinese. Again, I'll see as time goes on. I'm on chapter 4, and I've got 25 chapters in this book, and I'm also, as of yesterday, yay, touching real newspapers as well. So I will begin to see if this is a normal way to split verbs like this, or if this is just a unique construction. And either way, with repetition, it will go into my head eventually. But I just thought that was really interesting. You have the is at the beginning and the born at the end, and you have to wait to the end to find out that is. And I'm sure if I thought long enough, there are English sentences where we do that. And again, split phrasal verbs is one example where you wouldn't necessarily have the full meaning when you see the helping verb. And is it helping if it doesn't give you the meaning? My answer is no. But I am not a person in the realm of shaping the English language in any way, shape, or form. There are a few things I'd like to get rid of if I were on that panel. And verb inflections are one of them. Time words exist for a reason, people. Verb inflections exist to keep people out of the language. Anyway, yeah, let's take a stance on verb inflections and just remove them from all languages. If you don't know what a verb inflection is by its name, I'm terribly sorry. I just geeked out for a second. In English, when you say like, let's see, when you change time, when you say, I'm picking a regular one just to prove the point of the impossibility of some verbs in English. Say, said is past tense, S-A-I-D. S-A-Y turns into S-A-I-D, and because it's S-A-I-D, you know it's past tense. Okay? Have said. We've now, changed it and added, for present perfect, we've added the have. So necessary, but now we know the time has changed, and it's a few different time meanings could come out of have said. But generally speaking, it's a longer period of time that started in the past is still going. Okay, fine. Had said, have, let's get into some crazy verb inflections. Have just said, have been saying, present perfect continuous. I mean, just honestly, you say with the time word. Say today, say tomorrow, say last week, say a minute ago, say in the future, say in the past. So much easier. Don't change the form of the verb. How did I go from word order to verb inflections? I don't know. But my brain, my linguistic brain, my word brain is often running after yesterday's session. So all kinds of things are happening. So word order, this is my first real encounter with very different word order. And the part at the beginning, I don't want to just focus on the verbs, the part at the beginning, the I, girlfriend. And I was expecting a possessive in there. I was expecting like, wo de nu peng yo. And it wasn't in there. It was just I, girlfriend. Wo nu peng yo. Peng peng yo. Nu peng yo. I can't say my girlfriend, which I'll generally not say, so it's okay. But you know what? Yeah, I'm a little confused on that too, but it'll happen with time. So yeah, there's a couple of different grammatical things that are really sticking out with that, and good, because the more I ponder phrases, the more I'm looking at language as words and concepts instead of just vocabulary and just flashcards, although I'm still playing with flashcards. It's hard not to do flashcards with language learning, but the point is there's context involved when there are phrases and sentences, and that, my friends, is where I needed to go to. So I'm there. I don't quite understand what's happening, but it was day 2 of touching the new vocabulary and the new sentence, and that's completely and utterly fine with me. Confusion is part of the process. When I'm not confused, I'm not studying, and I'm not learning. So there you go. I'm going to sign off from this zebra blanket moment. What the heck? I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Satyen. I have to go figure out now. I have to take a picture for my renewal visa, but I'm going to physical therapy afterwards. So I have to have a formal top that looks nice for the visa picture, and then stretchy bottoms for the physical therapy. How do you do this? I don't know. I might have to bring a change of top because that doesn't seem to match. Anyway, these are the things I have to think about after I'm done with words. All right, have a good day, evening, or wherever you are. Satyan, goodbye.